Well, thanks for joining us today in beautiful Barcelona. My name is Matt C., and I'm a Principal Product Manager at Atlassian. Super excited to be here with you all today to talk about Atlassian Guard, specifically Guard Premium, and how it can help you secure your cloud environment. So, on the agenda, we've got a pretty special session today. It's not going to be just any ordinary breakout session. I'm not going to just be talking at you, telling you what the thing does. You can come check out the booth, and I'm happy to go through like an in-depth demo with you. But we do have some wonderful speakers from H&M as well as Personio who are going to be joining us for a live discussion about Guard and how they've used it and some of the things they're seeing. But before we begin, I'm going to set some context and start with the why behind Guard. Before that, though, what I do want to re-mention here is you may have seen this slide a few different times throughout the conference. I think it's important to re-highlight, though. I joined Atlassian 6 years ago. I was a product manager in our Jira Cloud platform, and I joined because I deeply believe in our company's mission, and that's to unleash the potential of all teams. Now, we do this by making sure we can advance the way humans collaborate with each other, and with collaboration, though, we realize and we know that collaborating is challenging. And here's what we've seen in the market and across various industries globally. Attacks have proliferated across every industry, averaging 1,248 attacks per week. And when you look at the most prevalent incidents that tend to happen, these tend to be data leaks as well as data breaches. These attacks can stem from compromised credentials, resulting from phishing attempts, weak passwords, poor corporate authentication policies, and they continue to be the leading cause of the data breaches. But we know incidents are not just about hackers and what you see in the movies and TV shows about targeting high-value data. That's the sexy stuff, right? It can also just be caused by lapses in controls or even just accidental employee error. So, with 46% of those reported data breaches, what we've seen is they involve personal data. And again, this is regardless of any size or industry, and really what we're here to do is to help you protect that data in the cloud. So, we know your team's mission-critical work is unfolding in Atlassian Cloud. In today's fast, digital-paced world, we see data is rapidly being created, shared, and collected. In 2022, we saw that there are over 1 million Jira issues created on average every day, and over 4.5 million Confluence pages created every month. So what we see from this is that data is continuing to quickly accumulate, right? People and organizations are tasked with the job of protecting that invaluable data. And that data ranges from intellectual property to even personally identifiable information, otherwise known as PII. So, what happens if that data gets compromised? Well, not only is your team's revolutionary breakthrough at risk, it can also lead to regulatory fines or even damage brand reputation. So, what did we do? We built Atlassian Guard. And for those of you, just in the show of hands in the audience, do you currently use Atlassian Access? You know what that is? Yeah, okay, I see a couple of hands. We rebranded Access to Guard. And so Guard is a security add-on for all our cloud customers, and it really helps to maintain your competitive edge as well as strengthen your security posture. With Guard, we're trying to empower organizations to stay ahead of the complex challenges of operating in the cloud. We do recognize there's no one-size-fits-all, and so what we've done is we've designed multiple layers of defense to help meet your needs today, as well as with the flexibility to expand in the future. This is just a quick high-level difference of all the different features and capabilities between Standard, which is Access, and Premium. You can scan the QR code for the full list. As you saw in the keynote yesterday, we did announce Guard Premium to general availability. So everything is up online, and you can check that out. But to give you an overview, Atlassian Guard Standard really gives you those access capabilities that you already depend on. So the name has changed, but the pace and the innovation continues to be the same. We've done things like enforce single sign-on for external users, as well as expanded data and mobile security policies. Guard Premium builds on top of that. And really the goal here is to unlock a full cycle of capabilities to meet your organization's needs and the evolving security demands in Atlassian Cloud. Premium gives you those granular controls for sensitive data protection, quick detections of suspicious activity, as well as facilitates that workflow by giving you a way to respond quickly to those and to investigate and remediate. Again, scan the QR code for more details, but you're welcome to also check it out at the booth. When we started to build Guard Premium, we spoke to a lot of different types of customers. A lot of folks in the EMEA region, in APAC, in the America regions, and we were inspired by what they were telling us. One particular customer told us that while the contents of their Jira instance were leaked, it could be bad. If the contents of their Confluence were leaked, it would be company ending. I don't know how many of you share this same thing, but I can tell you for certainty that if Atlassian's Confluence instance was ever leaked, it would be the same. So with Guard Premium, we summarized everything we heard from the customers we spoke to into these 3 pillars: protect, detect, and respond. For those of you who are cybersecurity experts and are familiar with the space, you'll recognize this as being very familiar with the NIST framework. It's a cybersecurity framework that has 5 functions: identify, protect, detect, respond, and recover. It became very apparent that these pillars map back to the customer's needs, and that's how we've built Guard Premium. So in terms of the capabilities themselves in our protect pillar, what we've been able to do is create data classifications as well as security policies, again, that give you that granular control. On the detection side, we've built a set of threat detection capabilities that allow you to scan for sensitive data, as well as any irregular or abnormal activity. And last but not least, on the respond work side of things, we have built a efficient workflow that kind of brings that all together and allows you to remediate those manually and in the very near future automatically. So since announcing Guard Premium back at Team 24 in Vegas, we've actually had a number of early adopters, and they've been able to share with us how they've benefited from the product so far. One of the most compelling features that has come out of it is the ability to scan for that sensitive data or potentially personal identifiable information. We've seen more than 80% of our users today use this to generate alerts, averaging over 1,000 alerts per day. So we're definitely surfacing all the stuff that's hidden in your Confluence right now, and Jira is coming soon. So with Guard Premium, we have also been really intentional about making sure that we focus on what we know best, which is the Atlassian cloud products. We've prioritized integrations to make sure that what we've built is compatible with other products that you may already be using in your security stack. When we spoke to an admin from a government agency, they told us how important it is to be able to use both a native solution, but also their existing third-party solutions. So, and those of you who are using Guard Standard, you're probably already familiar with some of these integrations today, with providers like Google, Okta, and Microsoft. We've continued to expand that and prioritize extensibility with Guard Premium by working with vendors such as Splunk, Netscope, Zscaler, and of course Slack. So with this, you're able to get a centralized view of all those alerts, all the events and activities, and centralize it in your security incident and event management tool, otherwise known as a SIEM. And with that, that brings us to the conclusion of me talking at you and telling you about Guard Premium. Again, check it out at the booth later. I'm going to bring up our speakers today, and again, we've been very lucky to have folks from H&M and Personio. So please give a warm welcome to our speakers. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to take a seat, and we will get started. Are the mics working? All good?
Check, check.
Yes.
All right, cool. So thank you guys for joining us today. How are you enjoying Barcelona so far?
It's been awesome. It's blast. It's always a great pleasure to attend these Atlassian conferences, and now have 2 conferences yearly to look forward to in the future. Is
nice.
Great.
Yeah, I was speaking to Victor about moving to Spain, and Barcelona specifically. I'm based in Ireland, so we can tell it's almost cloudy all year round. So yeah, it's a good choice to move to Spain if you're not.
Nice. So we'll start off with a pretty simple one, but would love to just introduce yourself to the audience. Tell us a little bit about you, what you do at your companies, and yeah.
Sure, I can start. I'm Michael, or Mikael in Swedish. I am the Atlassian platform owner at H&M. Also the owner of Miro, so it's a great combination there. I'm the engineering manager for the team running the platform. I'm also just one event away from becoming a community lead for the Stockholm chapter. For those of you who do not know H&M, I assume most of you do. Hands up, anyone wearing H&M today? What? All right, maybe wrong crowd, I don't know. We are a rather global company. We have stores in, I think, 77 countries. We have online sales in over 60 countries. We have been Atlassian customers since 2005, when we started with Jira. And fun fact, we were the first customer to have 5,000 users in the cloud back in early 2020. So we have been fully cloud since 2020.
That's 4 years, and fun fact, I remember I used to work on our sandbox and release tracks programs, and we were supporting, 5K. That feels like that's a nostalgia hit right there. Yeah, nice. Sammy.
Yeah, hi everyone. So my name is Sam Hassan, and I work as a senior security analyst at Personio. So I work on various projects to safeguard our data and systems from security threats. I detect and analyze security incidents to understand their nature and impact in order to be able to respond effectively to these threats. I also lead efforts to detect, mitigate, and also prevent fraud and abuse activities that happen on the platform. And yeah, for those who don't know Personio is a German-based company. It's an all-in-one HR software solutions for SMEs, for companies range between 10 to 2,000 employees, and powering over 1 million people around the world. And to give you an idea about the structure of the security team at Personio, because we take security very seriously. So our security team is structured into 5 key main teams. Security GRC, also known as governance, risk management, and compliance. Security, product security, cloud security, corporate security, and finally security operation, which I am part of. So in security operation, we mainly focus on detection engineering, incident response, offensive security, security testing, and also threat research. So yeah, that's in a nutshell myself and Personio.
Nice.
Hello everyone, good morning. I'm Victor Lima. I am a senior security engineer at Personio, working with Sameh at the same team. So basically what we do in the SecOps, as Sameh already said, we basically the daily basis like handle security signals and also customer reports. And when incidents happen, we are there to mitigate as quick as possible. As I am a security engineer as well, part of my responsibility is to push new data to our SIEM, which for folks who does not know what it is the place where we store all the logs, the security logs there. And also I'm the responsible to create like new automations to improve the efficiency of our process and make sure we can handle those cases as quick as possible. Yeah, that's myself.
Awesome, great. Thanks, Victor. So it's awesome to have such a mixed panel as well, because when we were building Guard Premium, we work closely with our corporate security as well as security engineers at Atlassian. So we actually have a model where we've embedded a security expert on the team. And so everything we do, we always gut check and make sure that's the case. So it's awesome to have all 3 of you here, because you give such a balanced perspective. To start us off in terms of just being on the same page, can you tell me, I guess, what information security means to you, and what are some of the primary challenges that you guys face?
I can take this one, information security one. So, from our perspective, and from my perspective specifically, I would say information security is the cornerstone of building trust with our clients. And as I mentioned before, as a SaaS provider, we handle vast amount of sensitive data. And protecting and safeguarding this data is not just a legal obligation, but also a core ethical responsibility. So information security means ensuring the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of data, and also ensuring this information is protected from unauthorized access, misuse, abuse, and also data breaches. And as you mentioned in your presentation, data breaches is one of the main concerns as well. At Personio, we actually invest heavily in this in security programs in order to make sure that we are protecting this information from threats. So also information security, not just about protecting the data, and also by building the trust with our clients. So having the proper incident plan in place, such as, for example, having the incident response plan that could outline the rapid detection of these threats is very important as well. So yeah, that's I would say my take, my 2 cents on this.
Mikhail, do you have anything to add?
It's so interesting to hear from your perspective, because I mean, I sort of more represent the IT business perspective. So to me, security is, I wouldn't say necessary evil, but I mean, it's almost like brushing your teeth. If you don't do it, the results over time could be catastrophic. So it's like, if you are the dentist, I am the patient here in this relation, kind of. Yeah, so we have slightly different perspectives here, I would say.
No, that's great. And I do agree with both of your points. It's like you don't know what you don't know, and at some point, if it gets bad, the results can be pretty catastrophic, as the way you described. When it comes to past or even hypothetical security challenges, can you share some of the things that keep you up? Like, what are the things that you're running up against?
I mean, we are truly a global company. So again, not working for the cybersecurity department, I am not aware of all the risks we are facing. So from me, it's more like the business risk. You showed this slide previously here, which I think is excellent. I mean, what if our data leaked? And being a truly global company, we're collaborating with hundreds of partners, vendors, franchises, and we would love to trust everyone, but can we really do that? I mean, security is basically risk management, right? So how do we find the right balance between security and compliance on the one hand, and transparency and collaboration on the other? That is something that we sort of struggle with.
And you use Jira and Confluence for a lot of that, so...
Absolutely. So I mean, with the Gen AI coming, if from a security perspective, the best way would be to restrict as much as possible. But what would be the point of using AI if you only had access to your own information? So sort of the separation of concerns and data classifications and so on, that is something that is super important to us.
I'm glad to hear that. Sammy, did you have something to add to the...
Yeah, so for the challenges, again, as I mentioned, data breaches is one of them as well. And we see, like, working with business teams who would like to enable technologies and, like, for example, AI as well. It's very important. I see, like, we were having discussion before about AI and security, and how security might sometimes seen as a blocker, not as an enabler. But I find it's like, if taking security as a strategic partner and having them engaged in the early stage, it's very important. And they could be like enabler more than as a blocker to the business. So yeah, and as I mentioned before, like and also as you mentioned, data breaches is one of the main concerns, not only like for companies like Personi, but for organizations and individuals around the world as well.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of excitement over AI, as I'm sure many of you folks have seen throughout the conference. And as much as we would love to make sure that it's as security is just thought from day one, right? And so it just becomes an enabler, like you said. Now I know both of you guys have been using, or all three of you have been using Guard Premium since the early days, before we even called it Guard. Curious, what attracted you to Guard Premium? Like what drew you in?
I can take it as one. So in 2023, as I'm a security engineer, we keep the list of the most valuable assets that we have in the company. And as a security engineer, I have to make sure that we are having, like the right monitor and the tracking, and we generated the detections on top of that source. And being honest, 2023, we were not looking for Atlassian products because we have like another prioritizations. And that was the time when we had the opportunity to join the beta tester program from the former No Beacon platform, which knows is already as is known as Guard Premium. And that was like a perfect fit. So we didn't like quite have enough priority, but has the opportunity to join the program. We joined the program. In 10 minutes, we install the app, which is basically giving some permissions, and we could see like the these insights like instantly. So after we install, we gain access to the platform. We were able to see like few detections coming up. So it was like super awesome. Another thing that was like really good was like how to integrate with our process. So we just like plug the connection, a webhook with our SIEM, and then we can plug like to our internal process, which we are analyzing the signals, and then we can escalate to security incidents. So it was like fairly straightforward. And what I can say, like as soon as we enabled the former Beacon, now Atlassian Guard Premium, was like the visibility to see what people are, like how they are using Confluence, for example, if they are saving PII in the documents, they are saving passwords, the user activity as well. For example, we are now able to see people exporting pages, crawling Jira tickets, like all this suspicious behavior, if they are using suspicious IP. This is like super awesome to have like all this visibility so quickly in our, like in our security operations. Nowadays, how we are using the platform, it's part of one of, one of the sources. We rely heavily in the Guard Premium. And what we can say as well, it's Guard Premium. If you check the solution, which I recommend at least, we have a user dashboard. In this dashboard, you can see what are the devices the user are using, like what are the products they are connecting. You can see a beautiful map plot with all the IPs the user are coming from, so you can easily see like, oh, these users are coming from those countries which they are not like related. Is this like a real scenario? So all these insights that you gain like just looking into one dashboard, it's awesome. So we connect together with our internal processes, and it's being awesome so far.
Thanks, Victor. Mika, you want to add?
Yeah, absolutely. We have been on Atlassian Access since day one, back in 2020, and super happy. Proud to have 100% of our users using single sign-on and multi-factor authentication when they log in. As I mentioned, compliance is really important to us. We are originally a Swedish company, so we reside within the EU with all that means in terms of GDPR and so on. You mentioned personally identifiable information. We started dipping our toes into sort of building our own solution based on automation in Confluence quite a while ago to scan pages for sensitive information like passwords, credit card numbers, IP addresses, whatnot. But, I mean, it's doable. But then we understood that, as Victor mentioned, there is something called Beacon, which has now become Guard. So we started looking into Beacon, and we were happy to be, I think, one of the first to join the early access program for Premium Guard. So all the things we had built ourselves with automations was now there out of the box in Guard Premium. So that really made things a lot simpler for us. I would also like to take the opportunity to point out that we are currently doing a huge initiative on cybersecurity at H&M. So we are looking at information data management, we are looking at identity and access management, we are looking at asset management, we are looking at business continuity management, all of those things that cybersecurity think that we should do to be compliant and secure and everything. And it's great because we really need to make sure that we are compliant in all senses, because being a global company means that you are also always scrutinized by media and everyone. Everyone is just trying to find something that you are doing wrong. So we really take pride in having high standards. So we have also, given that we are already using Atlassian Guard Premium, we get so much out of the box with like data classification and data privacy and so on. So I think it has really helped us implement our cybersecurity standards much faster than we would have been able to otherwise.
Yeah, thanks.
And just one more comment.
Yeah.
You mentioned global users. Again, since we are a global company, one thing that I think is so cool is that we have seen users logging in from different parts of the world. But in our company, it's common that you travel. So it's super interesting to see, is this a leaked account? No, it's just someone traveling. So that's cool.
Yeah, I can add, like, that's fairly, actually, this is a really great question. And people used to say that impossible travel, which is one of the detections that we have, is that because now that people travel every time, we don't know, like, like people are flexible to go whatever they want. And actually what we do with this information is basically correlate with other sources. For example, if we don't have a compromise specifically in Atlassian user or in any other user. So for example, we could, instead of like just looking for the Atlassian logs, like Guard logs, we can also correlate with other logs. If I can see there is a match between, oh, I see this user from this other platform, okay, he was like, for example, with Span, and then he travels like 1 hour before, like to Germany. I don't know, like, and both platforms they share like the same sites. Okay, that potentially is a true false positive. But if the correlation does not exist, we can like, oh, maybe I need to check out with this user, making sure if this account is not compromised, and also making sure like the device it is the same. This is another thing that we usually see, people changing device. So this could be like more suspicious. Maybe you need to suspend this user, check directly within like in the Slack or on any other platform. So yeah, but that's really a great question. It's a real challenge for us.
Mikhail, earlier before we started, we were talking, you were talking about how H&M uses other tools as well, right? And when evaluating something like Guard Premium, you had a really interesting question about how do you convince the business to actually go and purchase yet another tool. I'm curious, like Victor or Sammy, as security specialists, like what's your perspective on that?
Yeah, so yeah, purchasing like products and also working with business teams that tend to purchase like products, we have to go like through like compliance checks and security checks for these products before. And most of the products now, it's mainly around AI. And as you can see in this event, like as well, Atlassian, most of the product updates and announcements are around AI. And of course, in 2024, we cannot just ignore AI or not talk about it. And in one way, AI is giving security teams and other teams the opportunities to improve and also, for example, used in threat detection, analysis, and response. But on the other hand, AI is leveraged by attackers and ML, machine learning as well. So this product, when it's around AI, it creates some challenges for us to go through, like compliance checks and also making sure that we have robust training in place for employees who are going to using this product as well. So in one hand, I would say, like if we talk specifically about AI products, they are advancing nowadays, and I think as they grow, also the challenges with them will grow as well. So yeah, but for companies as they are prepared for this and having a proper procedures in place, I think they could like taking advantage of this technology and these products.
Thanks for sharing that. I guess I wouldn't be a product manager if I didn't ask you how we can improve the product. And of course, everyone in the audience, you're welcome to come check out the booth. Give me all the feedback you have. I'm ready for it. I'm going to start with you, Mikhail. Let's say you had a magic wand, and you could make Guard Premium do absolutely anything. What would you want to see?
I would say I would like it to make Lego, but maybe that's not the answer you're looking for. No, jokes aside, I think the alert management is still a bit clunky, perhaps. I would like to see alerts more handled like tasks. Now it's just you get an alert. It's really hard to act on it. So that is something I think can be improved. I also think that with probably AI, it would be nice to get some sort of more grouping, analysis and grouping of different alerts, because on the first day when we turned on the notifications in Guard, we were super excited. The next morning, we saw the list of alerts, and we were like, oh, geez, what are we going to do about all these alerts? Where do we start? So a bit more help in which of these alerts do we need to act on now? What are the patterns in these alerts? What are the areas where we can improve? What might be deferred until later? And so on. So that is something I think could be improved, definitely. If I may expand on that, there are other parts where I'm not sure really where to draw the line between Atlassian Guard Premium and Rovo, because to me things are starting to sort of almost melt together in the system of work. Where do you draw the lines? But as I mentioned previously, with the information data management that is so crucial to us, it would be awesome if we could sort of get the help of identifying almost which new pages in Confluence that might have content that should be classified as internal or even confidential, and maybe present like some sort of notification to the user. Have you thought about how to classify this page? I can help you restrict access to this page. Again, because we don't really want that to happen just automatically, because it could be that the agent is too picky and locks down everything. So we still need to be careful and leave the final decision to the users, but make them aware of what I actually entered in this Confluence page, or in a Jira issue for that matter. So I think those are on my top list.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to share that we are working on a lot of those areas. One of the things you brought up is automation. How does that fit in with AI, with Rovo? We're starting pretty simple, I have to say. Like, we know that not every single alert necessarily needs to be automatically addressed, and there's always that human in the loop phenomena where you do want some sort of validation or input that this is the right thing to do. But integrating with the Atlassian automation platform makes absolute sense. It's what we're actually working on right now. So we should definitely keep connecting, because we want to make sure we shape it that way. Sammy?
Yeah, so if I had a magic wand, probably the first thing I will make Ireland sunny all year round. But on a serious note, yeah, if I had a magic wand, I would say one of the great features that I've seen on Guard Premium, that if there is a login from a suspicious IP is happening, we get an alert for this. But I would like to build on this and have some sort of proactive monitoring and detection on IPs in combination with something called user agent. And for those who don't know user agent is such a string that you send to, when you visit a website from your browser, you are sending some information such as your operating system, browser, and your browser version, etc. So having the IP in combination, the IP with a user agent that have never seen before in the platform, we get an alert for this. And at the same time, if this IP has been flagged as suspicious, by one of the services that are available. For example, for people around the world, there's something called Virus Total or Abuse IP database. These sources are available for people around the world to flag IPs if they are suspicious or doing some shady activity on their platforms. So having integration with these services and in combination with a user agent that have never seen before and IP has been flagged as suspicious, this will give a high confidence of something suspicious is happening on the platform or someone has been compromised. And so having this together will give high confidence and also reduce the number of false positives, because you were talking about a lot of alerts coming. So you want to make sure that you have alerts that are true positive, not false positive, in order to like use your time effectively, especially if you're having a lot of alerts. So yeah, that's I would say my hope or wish for this feature.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, will be as we from Personio, we have some firms that work with threat intelligence, which is basically a way we can monitor, like threat actors that could target our company or similar ones. And from this firm, they share with us like some IOCs, which they are kind of indicators of compromiser, and they have like thousands of IPs that they could mean that those actors are targeting, are using those to attack us. And for me, it would be awesome if the platform could, if I could like go to the platform, put an IP and see all the users that has used that IP, or even the device, or like this granularity of search, like based on the context, not only the user, will be awesome. So I could like kind of do some threat hunting proactively, and it will be like easier to find like these indicators. But yeah, and I agree with Mikhail and Samad. That's my pins as well.
Okay, thanks, Victor. Yeah, I can totally see the need for threat hunting intelligence, especially with globally distributed companies and the way your employees and teams are working. You never really know, like, is this an abnormal, IP login based on, what they've done in the past and what they're doing now. So appreciate you all for sharing that. To close us off, we've got about 7 minutes. I was just curious, what other trends, things are kind of on the horizon in information security that are top of mind for you? We've spoken a lot about AI, but is there anything you'd want to add or close out with?
So yeah, AI, of course, this is that I've mentioned. This is one of the things that we are keeping an eye on. I would say also because now technology is going fast, and with the rapid innovation, and everyone in the market is trying to be fast with their technology and to be quick in order to make their products available. Sometimes we see engineer teams are making releases of the updates of their products. Sometimes that might open the door for attackers to take advantage if there is even a minor software flaw that could cause a potential vulnerability or open the door for threats from bad actors to take advantage of this. So I would say one of the trends, I would say, like keeping an eye on the updates from the products and also making sure that if there is a new release by, for example, if you're working in a team, a security team, or this is specifically for security folks. I don't know how many of you work in the security area. Put your hands up if you are working in the security. So yeah, a couple of you. So I guess you're working closely with your product teams and engineering teams. So if there is a release of new products, having the security teams checking these updates, giving them early heads up in order to be able to check these product updates or new products, it will save a lot, especially in this era, because as I mentioned, also AI is being used by bad actors to, for example, automate their attacks. We have seen very convincing phishing email attacks. We have been seeing also bad actors using AI and ML to scan vulnerabilities in their target systems as well. So I would say, yeah, keeping an eye on the updates and the future releases. I would say this is one of the trends that we are looking at as well closely.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if it's really a trend. Maybe it should be a trend. Maybe we can start one here together now. But I would like to point out the awareness that, I mean, tools can only do so much, but chain always has a weakest link, and I'm afraid that it might be the human sometimes. Our cybersecurity department constantly bombards us with fake spam mail. And then if you click a link, you get fooled you this time, but next time it might be true. And it is a bit annoying, but it's also good because I must admit, it has made me more aware of phishing attempts and so on. And my kids often come to me, oh, I found these cheap sneakers online. I have to check the URL here. And so it's like creating that sort of awareness. And I just want to take the opportunity to mention something that we have done, or rather our cybersecurity department has done, this rollout of the cybersecurity standards. We have built automation so that every team within H&M, when they are ready to start rolling out the cybersecurity standards, they go to Jira and fill in some information about what sort of team is it? Are you building your own software? Do you provide software as a service? Are you more of a service team? And so on. And based on how they respond, they get a bunch of Jira issues generated in their project, so they don't have to go looking for what do we need to do as a team. They get it all served. So I think that could be something for you in this room to bring home if you want to roll out something. Use the tools to help people understand more about security, and you can also then see that this team has now done their homework. So again, awareness.
That's a great point. Like I said earlier in the talk, there isn't really a single solution, right? When we think about security, it is a shared responsibility between us as Atlassian, the tools we provide, yourselves as customers who use the tools, as well as just the broader education, right? I think you can do everything in the world, but somebody doesn't actually understand why and what to do, then it's very easy to circumvent. So
yeah, I just want to say one fun fact as well, as we are talking about awareness. This month actually is the Security Awareness Month. So there is a lot of awareness going on, and companies trying to raise awareness about the importance of the security as well.
So someone beat me to it, apparently.
Well, thank you all for coming and speaking with us today, and appreciate you all for sitting in the audience and listening. Give it up for our speakers.